Great. I hope everybody's excited.
Yes.
Tanisha, I believe the live stream started, correct?
Yes, it has started.
Okay, great. Now I'll make the webinar live so people can join in, and maybe in 30 seconds or a minute, I'll start with the intro. Okay, great. We'll wait for the participants to start joining. Okay, so I'll start with the intro. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's session on the future of connected vehicles in India, opportunities and challenges. This session is brought to you by the team at Passenger Vehicle Forum, or as we are more popularly known, PVF. And we are partnered with the Tata Communications for this one. My name is Rohit Devan, and I'm the portfolio director for our automotive events, which we call PVF, CVF, and TWF. PVF, like I said, is for passenger vehicles. CVF is for commercial vehicles, and the TWF is for two-wheeler and electric vehicles. While most of you are already aware, but for some of the new attendees who are joining, just to give you a quick introduction, PVF is India's premium C-level passenger vehicle event. And before we start this session, I'm delighted to inform you that we are coming up with the fourth edition of this event, which will take place on 2nd of September in Pune. And we intend to bring over 60 speakers for this one and over 300 delegates. This will be across passenger vehicle ecosystem, including OEMs, suppliers, government bodies, and some innovative startups as well. So now moving on to the agenda for today's session. I will be kicking off the proceedings for the session with a short introduction. As part of this introduction, I'll be introducing the speakers and the moderator. Our moderator will then give a quick overview of our session, and will be running a poll and will initiate the panel discussion. We will also devote a minute or two during the session to run a few polls, and we intend to take few audience questions as well towards the end. Your active participation is important to make the session a success. Right now, we have you all in listen-only mode, and but this is how you can interact with us. You can ask us questions. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen where you will have a control panel with a Q&A box. So feel free to send us your questions in the Q&A box. We will take those questions in the Q&A segment at the end of today's session. And you can even choose to upvote those questions. This will help us in addressing the most burning topics. We will take the most popular questions at the Q&A segment at the end. We also invite you to share your insights in the polls, that we'll be launching from time to time. That'll be flashing on your screen. Do note that we have this session streaming live on our YouTube channel as well, and anyone who has registered will receive a recording of the sessions. Apart from that, I request you to share your insights in the feedback form that opens up as soon as you exit the session. And if there's something else you're interested in learning more about us or about the speakers or what have you, feel free to shoot us a question. So before we begin today's session, I wanted to take this time to especially thank our partner, Tata Communications, for supporting this session. Tata Communications, as most of you are probably aware, is a global digital ecosystem enabler, powering the digital transformation of enterprises worldwide, including 300 of the Fortune 500. They help businesses unlock borderless growth, enhance customer experiences, drive innovation, and improve efficiency. They carry 30% of the world's internet routes, connect to 80% of the global cloud providers, and reach 4 out of the 5 mobile subscribers, all supported by the world's largest wholly owned subsea fiber backbone and a tier 1 IP network in almost 200 countries. With over 25 years of driving India's digital evolution, Tata Communications is committed to delivering secure, connected digital experiences for enterprises across the globe. So now, moving on to the panel discussion, I would like to briefly introduce our expert speaker group. Our first speaker for the session is Mr. Manoj Desai. who's the Deputy Director of the Automotive Electronics Department at ARAI. With over 27 years of experience in automotive electronics, electric mobility, and cybersecurity, he leads certification testing and standards development for EVs, hybrid, and fuel cell vehicles, along with automotive cybersecurity for OTA updates and intelligent transport systems. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Kumaran Bharatadisen, who's the Director, Program and RFQ Management Automotive India at Harman International. He's someone who has nearly 2 decades of experience in connected vehicles, digital cockpits, and ADAS, and works closely with leading OEMs, including Maruti Suzuki, Tata Motors, and Hyundai. Holding a PhD in AI and deep learning, he brings deep expertise in software-defined vehicle technologies and next-generation connected ecosystems. Our third speaker for the session is Mr. Sameer Jindal, who's the Director, VAVE, ESCG, and ESCG head at JSW MG Motor India. He's also the CIAM co-chair for digital transformation and connected mobility. He has extensive global experience across organizations such as General Motors, Hero MotoCorp, GM Daewoo Korea, and brings deep expertise in automotive engineering, program management, sustainability, and EV innovation. Sameer has played a key role in driving ESG initiatives and electric mobility programs at MG, while also actively contributing to automotive education, industry forums, and thought leadership on future mobility. Next, I would like to welcome Ms. Neeti Saxena, Product Management Lead Mobility at Tata Communications. She is a seasoned industry expert with almost 2 decades of experience in the communication sector and possesses extensive knowledge of various communication technologies and platform-based solutions. Neeti has played a key role in driving discussions around IoT solutions and defining ecosystem strategies. Currently, she leads the connected vehicles product segment at Tata Communications. And before this, she also held roles at other renowned companies as well, including Ericsson, Nokia, G&D, and Volaris Group. Our final speaker for the session is Mr. Saurabh Agarwal, the lead infrastructure projects and maintenance at Escorts Kubota Limited R&D. Saurabh is a seasoned industry professional with over 2 decades of experience in automotive and manufacturing sector. He brings deep expertise across infrastructure development, automation, digitization, and strategic operational excellence. Saurabh has played a key role in driving renewable energy roadmaps, AI-enabled safety systems, and cloud-based monitoring initiatives, spearheading smart utility management, sustainable operations, and long-term technology roadmaps. Before this, he was associated with Honda Cars India Limited. He's also a CII Cluster Summit winner and holds a black belt in Lean Six Sigma and is also an ISO 9001 internal auditor certified by TUV. Our moderator for the session is Arpita Mathur, who's an associate director in mobility consulting at CRISIL. She has over a decade's experience in automotive strategy consulting, program management, and customer experience. She has led multiple transformation and go-to-market strategy engagements across the mobility sector and has previously worked with organizations including Ernst & Young, Bajaj Auto, Maruti Suzuki, Nexa, to name a few. We are incredibly honored to have her on board today as a moderator for this session. And Arpita, I pass the baton on to you to kind of take this forward.
Thank you so much, Rohit. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session. Today, the paradigm of mobility is shifting towards a vehicle that is not just a piece of machinery. It's actually a highly complex connected node on a digital network. We are no longer just moving people and goods. We are constantly moving terabytes and terabytes of data today. So this transformation in India, it requires a rigorous, ecosystem synchronization. We are operating in a landscape of extremes today. On one hand, we have the digital savvy consumers who demand seamless AI integrated in-cabin experiences. And on the other hand, we have the commercial and the utility sectors that require rugged, high uptime connectivity in an unstructured environment. Today, bridging this gap and also catering to the need of the entire mobility ecosystem requires, moving from connectivity in theory to a commercially viable reality, and it demands massive infrastructure deployment and strict regulatory compliance as well. To understand the realities of today's connected ecosystem, we need to understand a complete view of the value chain, and we need to look at the consumer, the monetization aspect of it, commercial R&D, telecom bandwidth, safety and homologation, all at the same time. And that is why I think today's panel of our esteemed senior industry leaders is a perfect representation of each aspect of the value chain that concerns with the connected mobility paradigm today. So, to take the discussion forward, I would first like to invite all of you to take a quick poll to understand what are the greatest challenges and bottlenecks to the connected vehicle ecosystem in India today.
So I'll just launch the poll, but I
Yeah.
think some people in the Q&A are saying that there's a lot of echo or whatever. I do not hear anything. Do you guys hear any echo? I for the life of me can't hear any echo. Everybody can hear fine, right? So I think you might have the people who are actually facing a lot of this echo, they must have logged in 2-3 times. Maybe, there are 2-3 people sitting in the same room, with the laptops on. So I would either assume, I would request you to either put your headphones on or move into different rooms. So because there is no echo, not that I face and other panelists are facing. So please would request you to, kind of either log in from one device, or maybe even if multiple devices are sit in multiple rooms, or put in your headphones. Okay, so I'll just launch the poll. Sorry about that. So Neeti, would you like to speak the poll for the benefit of the audience? Sorry, Arpita, can you speak the
Sorry,
poll?
I'll do that. Yes. So the agenda here is to identify what is the primary roadblock in the connected vehicle ecosystem today. Is it the evolving regulatory frameworks and safety homologation for the dynamic software and OTA updates? Is it the network reliability, latency gaps, and 5G deployment, not just in metro areas, but also in the tier 2s, tier 3s, and rural areas? Is it consumer price sensitivity against the high cost of advanced smart hardware? Is it the cyber security aspect of it? Or is it the lack of standardized, physical infrastructure for V2X, smart traffic grids, etc.? What do you all think is the single biggest challenge? I know they are all challenges, but of course, there should be one which is much of a bigger challenge as compared to the others. So let's look at what the responses are.
Arpita, so I'll just give them, probably
Sure.
30 more seconds, because we've received
Yes.
at least 50% of the people have voted. For those of you who haven't, I would request you to even cast in your vote. We want to keep the session interactive. Okay, last 5 more seconds. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody. 60% of you participated. I'm just going to share the results.
Wow, we can see a lot of responses that are indicating towards network reliability and standardized infrastructure. So I think I know the person who I need to speak to first with respect to these results, Neeti ma'am. So I would like to, understand from you how, what does this transition from, 4G to 5G connectivity actually mean for, the developing connected vehicle capabilities in practice? And how do you think the organizations are planning for a shift at a product level?
Thanks for that. So, see, the transition from 4G to 5G is not going to be just about the speed and it is going to be a fundamental shift on how the vehicles would perform and what they are capable of doing. So, today, from only being navigation and, as you said, transporting humans and vehicles, the vehicles are going to do a lot more in terms of real-time data sharing, decision making, from just doing basic OTA updates to doing critical OTA updates, from only doing the low, even delivering the low latency use cases, communicating with the surroundings, enabling V2X. All this is going to be the output of the 5G. Basically, 5G is going to transform the vehicles into large data hubs. How OEMs and the whole ecosystem is going to drive this is basically they are going to be uh, moving towards a more SDV, or the software defined vehicle architecture, enabling even the lower components to be software updatable, edge based decision makings. That is going to define the paradigm shift towards the overall ecosystem.
Okay. And ma'am, how do you think the connected mobility playbook, it's being developed today, specifically with respect to the broader smart city and multimodal transport paradigm integration in India?
So today there's a lot of focus on the passenger vehicle segment, whereas the commercial vehicle segment, the farm equipments, the two-wheelers are also catching up into this game. This is going to lead to a very broad horizon overall in India, wherein we will have all types of equipments will be sharing the data, and which will ultimately help us achieve the V2X and V2I cases better. There'll be a lot of data to do advanced use cases using AI for better congestion management, which will be the real need of the metros today. There will be ability to not just have the connectivity across all the vehicles, but also have a more advanced use cases on how you do the traffic management, how you make the roads more safer, reducing the number of accidents as the vehicles are able to communicate with each other. That will be a full shift. By 2030, we can almost expect that with the networks becoming more and more stable on 5G, not just from the metros, but even to the other segments of the country, where from every village and every city, these use cases will start becoming a reality.
Thank you, ma'am. In continuation to what you said, I would like to, understand from Mr. Manoj Desai from ARAI. Sir, what do you feel, how does the regulatory alignment play, is working right now for the connected vehicle adoption in India, especially, pertaining to the regulatory frameworks and the AI standards that are required to certify the vehicle software, and especially since they're continuously evolving through OTA updates. So what are your views on that?
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, all, and thank you very much for inviting me this webinar. So, if you look at the regulatory alignment, so I feel it's not just an enabler; it is the foundation, like without which connected vehicle adoption remains fragmented and risky that way. So that is the reason. In ARAI, we have a apex level committee, that is Automotive Industry Standards Committee, and we have formulated two standards. One is AIS 189, that is for cyber security and management system for vehicle OEMs. They're setting their management system as well as for vehicle approval, and AIS 190, which is for software update management system, which are formulated under Central Motor Vehicle Rules. So the core challenge with this OTA update is that the vehicle software is no longer remains static after type approval. Like for example, suppose a software patch is push 6 months post sale of the vehicle which is registered, it can alter the behavior of the vehicle. Like for example, it could be a braking behavior, it could be a sensor fusion logic, it could be any issue parameter change. And the traditional homologation system, which is usually done if there is a change in new component or a new vehicle is coming, it is done once and you are complying, you are good to go to the market. But this kind of system is no longer useful, where more connected and software defined features will be coming. And this exactly it is addressed by AIS 190, which will be mandating a cryptographic like signing of the firmware. There has to be a rollback mechanism for safe state. The audit logs or post-update verification has to be there. So it ensures that every OTA update maintains its integrity, authenticity, and traceability. So these standards are based on UN regulation 155, 156, and ISO 21434, which also helps Indian OEMs who want to pursue the global markets. Okay, that's one thing. And see, demonstrating compliance on a single framework, so that will reduce their duplication efforts. So our effort was to create the regulation framework which can cater a continuous homologation, which will ensure that whatever being launched in the market or whatever being changed after launch, it is in sync with type approval, and corresponding type approval is uh, availed by the OEM, and it can be verifiable by the authority by means of a software identification number. So in short, you can say that the regulatory mechanisms are in place. They gets continuously evolve as and when new features OEMs are bringing. OEM actively participate in all these committees. They are part of this ecosystem. So they also push a lot of new things if new features are being coming. And we are sure that everything is placed. We will be waiting for the final notification. There's a good point that a lot of OEMs have already started. They have started engaging test agencies and started giving what ecosystem they will be following. And we have started doing some mock audit kind of thing and guiding them what will be the new requirement. And shortly they will be coming for the compliance requirement.
Okay. Sir, now that you have, talked to us about the software aspect of it, what are your thoughts on the, advanced driver assistance systems? So the ADAS today, it is something that is, becoming more and more prominent in especially in the passenger vehicle industry today. So how are the testing agencies collaborating with the OEMs and the tech providers to test and validate these systems, especially because the Indian roads and the Indian traffic is it's a highly unstructured environment. It's not like, the in the foreign countries, it's much more structured, but India, the traffic is highly unstructured. So what are your thoughts on this, sir?
Yeah, yes, you rightly said. So there are three, four areas we have identified and started working. For example, like Indian roads are unlike any test scenario in global ADAS standards. So we have cattle on highways or something. Sometimes the wrong way of two-wheelers are coming, or non-perpendicular intersections are there. There are roads with no lane marking on that. Sometimes it is available, sometimes in like tier 2 cities and other things, it's not available. So what we have done is the scenario which are there in global or ISO standard, which doesn't exist in. So we have started working in 2, 3 areas. There is precisely we have invested building India's first dedicated ADAS test city. So which is coming near Talegaon. Some work is going on. So we are trying to create different India-specific scenarios, like you can say, mirroring those Indian road condition and enabling a comprehensive testing and validation for ADAS in a safer and a controlled and repeatable setting kind of thing. Like for example, test city simulates scenarios not covered under international standard, like 4-lane road merging into 2 lanes, or S curves, or non-perpendicular crossing sections, or parking areas for autonomous vehicle, and the roads with or without lane marking. So we are also developing India's specific crash test dummies. For example, the specific material dummies for 3-wheelers or for a cow kind of thing, which may not be happening in international scenario. So those are locally being developed so that the OEMs or tier ones can try their vehicles and technology, collect the data. We have a technology partnership with certain companies so that a very precise navigation capabilities can be built on the test track, which will be helping tier ones and OEMs to collect the data. Almost we can say more than 30 to 40,000 kilometers of data collection or is done across India. So the aim is to not just to test ADAS, but it is to Indianize it. So Indian specific scenario condition, and the same input we are giving it at international forums also, various UNR and ISO committees, so that they can include, and that will help the companies outside India also to understand what kind of Indian scenarios there. And creating a facility will help tuning all these ADAS features for India specific condition. For example, it could be advanced emergency braking system. So you know what these scenarios, it can be tested in safe and control condition, and accordingly the OEMs or tier one can bring the feature. So these are the 3-4 areas as a test agency we have started working, like acquiring the data for the scenario, creating our own infrastructure, bringing technology providers together so that high quality facilities can be created, and then testing all these features which will be coming on Indian road with Indian scenario condition.
Thank you so much, sir, Manoj sir, for the for the insights. And it would be really exciting to see what the Indian consumer wants now going forward when it comes to the connected vehicle features. So before we move forward to the remaining panelists, let's conduct another poll to understand, over the next 5 years, what are the connected vehicle capabilities that will drive the highest economic value for the Indian market?
That'd be great if you can speak out the options as well.
Okay, sure. So the first option is premium in-cabin experiences, wherein we talk about AI assistants, entertainment, and digital cockpits, which we are seeing, being developed in a lot of passenger vehicles today. Advanced driver assistance systems, we are already at ADAS level 2. So do we see ourselves going to a level 3, level 4? Predictive maintenance, edge diagnostics, and maximizing vehicle and fleet uptime. This is a bit pertaining to commercial vehicles as well. OTA subscriptions for software and performance upgrades. This is a new business model that we are seeing that is coming up, specifically in passenger vehicle sector. And then we have the overall, data monetization, basically usage-based insurance, smart city integrations, retail partnerships. So how is our data being utilized? So which of these will be driving the highest economic value in the future?
Last 15 seconds to go. I'd request you all to share your inputs. Arpita, I hope you can see the results.
I can see the responses. Premium in-cabin experiences and ADAS. Of course, I think these are the two the capabilities that are going to be most in demand, it seems. So with this, I would like to, pick the brains of Mr. Sameer Jindal from JSW MG Motors. Sir, how do you think is the consumer readiness right now for these connected features in India? How is it being measured? And what patterns do you see are emerging between actual willingness to pay and then, real-time engagement with these technologies?
Yeah. Arpita, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I think you started very well. So no longer the vehicles are hardware, they are all connected and with the software, a lot of software, and we call it software defined vehicles. So it is changing with all the premium features in the core automotive business model. So almost 10 years back, when I started first the internet car in India, which is Hector, and we started MG Motor. So as a head of engineering, like Mr. Manoj says, there was no regulations, nothing. We went to DOT and we went to ARAI and ICAT for the certification of the lot of things. So from there to now, the business models are continuously evolving, and now more and more companies are coming up with the connected cars with SIM integrated and all those things. So OEMs are moving for these subscription-based ecosystem models, connected mobility platforms. And as you rightly asked, the major revenue opportunities is in the OTA updates, like premium infotainment, and also it is well evident in the survey as well. And also usage-based insurance, predictive maintenance, fleet telematics, especially for the commercial vehicles. So this all improves the customer retention, brand loyalty, life cycle monetization. And also now AI voice assistance, we have also given regional language support and smart navigation for being a major differentiator. So actually in India, the customer is also getting smarter, and they are increasingly measuring the actual usage of the features. So a lot of things like navigation, we removed inbuilt one, and now we have a connected with the mobile phone. So these are some things which usage analytics gives us, and depending on customer perception studies. So they are closely monitoring all these connected app engagement, feature activation roles, telematics usage patterns, average feature utilization, and subscription renewal behavior. So in MG, we have already included like remote AC control is one of the very good feature when you are in office and your vehicle gets cool before you enter the car. Also, vehicle tracking and geofencing is one important thing when your driver is driving and you want to track the vehicle. OTA, we already discussed. Voice assisted integration. EV charging visibility is definitely one of the major features where the range anxiety is taken care. Vehicle health monitoring, and emergency assistance service. So platforms such as MG iSmart ecosystem, which we are giving along with the car, is playing a very important role in improving the connected vehicles adoption in India, while offering integrated mobile app access to connected vehicles, remote vehicle control, navigation assistance, vehicle diagnostics, and real-time alerts. So all these things are the emerging trends in India that customer may initially appreciate a broad connected feature portfolio during the purchase decision. However, long-term engagement and willingness to pay are primarily driven by the practical utility and the ownership experience. So that is what we have observed. And also important observation is that EV customers and the younger digital first consumers are showing significantly higher engagement with the connected ecosystem because their ownership experience is very highly dependent on software driven interface and real time digital visibility. So all these are right now in vogue: higher smartphone penetration, better digital infrastructure, gender familiarity with subscription ecosystem. And across tier 2 and tier 3 cities also, this is rapidly increasing. Earlier when we launched, it was only in the tier 1 cities actually where they are more aware. So from an OEM perspective, the connected ecosystem is an important contributor to customer retention and long-term brand differentiation. And we are gradually also shifting from optimal premier features towards more becoming a standard expectation with modern mobility platforms.
Sure, sir. I mean, I completely agree with you. I mean, customers today are looking for these premium features in the baseline models as well. And we are
Yes,
seeing that, happening as a trend wherein a lot of these premium features are now percolating from the top variants to the middle variants and sometimes even
right,
to the base variants. So I
right.
think the Indian consumer is definitely wanting more, in terms of
Yeah.
features and in terms of connectivity. So, sir, how do you think this connectivity is evolving as a revenue stream? And how is it acting as a product differentiator for OEMs in India? And what are the business models that you think are working out or not working out? How are they viable today?
So, in the revenue model, customer is actually choosing what they actually need. So, a lot of intelligent navigation systems is rapidly evolving. Remote vehicle access, voice-enabled interactions, OTA software updates, connected infotainments and like apps which are giving them the different features of music and this thing is also getting very popular in the paid subscription models and personalized digital experiences. So digital experience is gradually becoming important when customer or these youngsters especially pay for the subscription. So that is one thing which is a lot of in the emerging features. And on-demand activation where software-enabled functionalities can be unlocked post-vehicle purchase through digital upgrades. We are seeing a lot of features like fuel optimization, predictive maintenance, route monitoring, and assisting utilization efficiency. So we are going more and more on cloud service platforms. AI solution providers, we are also working on some AI solutions for this and giving personalized experience. So these are a few things which is getting popular. And also one thing in terms of EV, because we sell now 85% of the EVs in the country, with the Windsor being a highest model, it is very important the charging infrastructure integration. And we have a MG Charge app which connects all the chargers. And this is one of the major things when people are driving across the cities, the battery management, route optimization, energy analytics. So this is getting more and more popular as you see month on month, the EV sales are increasing. So that is getting more and more popular in the customers.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Samisa. This was really
Thank you.
insightful.
Yeah.
I think another key aspect of connected vehicle mobility today is how and when these features are getting updated while the vehicles are on the road, right? So my
Right.
next question is to Dr. Kumaran from Harvard International. Sir, how do you see OEMs approaching the integration of these features in the middle of the cycle, while the vehicles are running, while they're on the road? And what are the engineering trade-offs that arise when you're trying to retrofit these connected capabilities into the existing architecture of the vehicles?
Yeah, so what we are really seeing now is a shift towards what we call a software-defined vehicle, as clearly said by the speakers here. So the software-defined vehicle model is what is evolving, where features are no longer frozen at SOP, a traditional way of development. OEMs are increasingly using the OTA, the over-the-air updates, to introduce new features even during the mid-cycle refresh or as the feature matures. So, but when you try to retrofit it into the legacy architecture, which is the architecture that we call in the automotive environment, that's where things gets interesting and complex as well. For example, older vehicles running on a CAN network do not support high bandwidth, where you really need Ethernet or automotive certified Ethernet communication. Then there could be there are further complexities that are coming on compute headroom, where your traditional legacy architecture do not have sufficient headroom to process the new features that are really demanding high compute power. That's where you hit the upper limit. Added to that, there would be thermal limits for these hardware to handle because of the high compute power and the increased memory usage. You hit thermal limits. On top of this, the validation complexity, it also increases as the variant gets add on. So yes, we can stretch the legacy platform to a maximum extent, but the real value comes only when vehicles are designed as software-defined vehicle from the day one. That's where OEM are also thinking on moving to the software-defined architecture, the central compute architecture, as it goes.
Okay. Okay. And sir, how do you see this percolating into the supplier ecosystem? Like if we talk about on the supplier side of the value chain, how are the economics of the connected vehicle technology shifting for the supplier ecosystem? And what are the segments of the value chain that are seeing the most disruption right now?
Right. So from economic standpoint, there are very clear shift happening where it is now we are moving from hardware-driven revenue to a software and service-led value pools. If you look at the components like TCU and connectivity module, they are already getting commoditized, where the value is moving upward in terms of OTA platform, cloud integration, middleware integration, and the digital services. Even tier ones are also evolving. We are now becoming system integrated, not just hardware suppliers. The typical example is the Harman Ready connector, which embodies the shift to software-defined experience-led mobility, as showcased in a few of the Indian vehicles like Toyota Sierra, where you have 5G telematics inbuilt, which is from Harman, delivering high-performance connectivity and future-ready digital service. So even tier ones are evolving, and we are now becoming system integrators. And then now we have new business model as feature as service, subscription based, usage based insurance, which are also gaining traction. So going forward, the real differentiator is not hardware; it's who control the software stack and the customer experience.
Absolutely agree with you, Dr. Kumaran, and I think it is also about who is controlling the data. I'll come to that, towards the end of our discussion. Moving on, I would like to, understand from Mr. Saurabh from Escorts Kubota, on the non-passenger vehicle front of it. So if we are looking at connected vehicles and telematics in the tractors and the off-highway industry as well. So, sir, how do you feel, what's the definition and purpose of connectivity? How does it change when the vehicle is operating, let's say, on a farm or not in a non-road environment rather than, on a highway? How do you see that, definition changing today?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me in this interesting webinar. First, I would like to say that there is a fundamental difference between the passenger vehicle and a farm vehicle. If we talk about the passenger vehicle, like our poll also suggests that we are more focused on ADAS, the driving assistance, and the AI assistance, the entertainment, the navigation, obviously the safety part. So it is more inclined towards that. But when it comes to the agriculture, then this connectivity becomes, I think, more of a productivity and a livelihood tool. So a tractor is not just a machine or a vehicle in the farm. It is an income generating machine, right, for the farmers or the operators. So the purpose of the connectivity fundamentally shifts from the comfort or convenience in the passenger vehicle to the income generating vehicle, which can be measured in terms of, you can say, in the operational efficiency, the uptime of the machine or the vehicle, the precision farming, and the cost optimization. So if we see broadly, uh, the passenger vehicle, intends to or focuses more on improving our driving experience and our safety. However, in agriculture, more importance is given to the improving the farm output and the efficiency and the productivity. And also the usability or the usage is also different in both the cases. Well, we are going on a highway, we generally connects with the navigation, take the traffic updates, and the route updates, or sometimes maybe to the service centers. And in future also the V2X or the V2V technology will come. So but when we talk about in the farming sector, so the vehicle needs to integrate with the entire ecosystem. Now, what is the ecosystem I'm talking about? The ecosystem means the other farming things like the soil sensors, the weather monitoring system, the irrigation system, the implements which are connected to the vehicle, the dealer or the service centers. So in that case, the connectivity, or we can say this farm vehicle, becomes one of the data node, in a very bigger or in the entire larger smart farming ecosystem. And also when we talk about the environmental conditions where passenger vehicles are moving, so mostly we are moving in a very cleaner environment. But when we comes to the farm equipments or the farm vehicles, so they are already in a very harsh, work in a very harsh environment where there's a scorching heat, dust, mud, rains are also there, vibrations are also there, and mostly the long working hours. So in that case, we need some robust connectivity setups. And also, as we discussed in the first poll, also the infrastructure needs to be developed. So we are talking about the metro cities, the highways, the infrastructure is required. Let's talk about the farming. Farming are mostly done outside the cities, right, in the remote areas. So there the network availability or the internet availability is weak. So we are seeing the connectivity technology difference from that angle also. So that can be developed or should be developed in a very reliable rugged setup. And if we see the global trends also, if we see in the US or Europe, where they have very large lands for the farming, and they are highly connected. They are very highly connected, and they are using the autonomous vehicles also, where you don't need any manpower to drive that vehicles, and also they are using the smart farming setups. So in India, if we say there is a challenge to reach there, but we are overcoming those challenges also, because in India the farmers have different sets of land holdings. Some have bigger, some have smaller, and farmers are also cost conscious. Every time you quote a feature to them, they will simply ask what I will yield from this feature. And also, although their farmers or the operators have the smartphones, today everybody have the smartphone, but the digital, I think the literacy varies. It is also a big factor. So I think connectivity or the opportunity in India lies scaling up the affordable, smart, and easy to use, reliable solutions in the farming industry. And obviously, the IoT and these things are also available, but not so popular in India. But it eventually it will be popular. It will gain trends in future. But now I think the scalability of the affordable smart system and the smart farming solutions, that can be the trend we can set.
Okay. Okay. So do you see, consumer-focused tech like advanced voice assist systems, making its way to the tractor cabin someday?
Yeah, yes, definitely, why not? So it will come in future,
Okay.
because it is an I think it's an advanced technology. I would say it is a requirement, future requirement.
Hmm.
We are seeing the comfort in the passenger vehicle. Farmer also need the comfort. More of this. I would say it will make farming a very user-friendly experience with
Right.
the voice assistance, right? And however, we cannot simply copy the technology of the passenger vehicle into the farm vehicle. So because of the many ways, right?
Yeah.
And also I would say that tractors are also becoming digital, right? We have telematics, we have touch screen displays, cameras, GPS system installed in it. But the actual challenge lies when when again the environmental condition, where the farmers are working, they are working in the muddy conditions, where their hands get dirty. So they cannot frequently touch the screens or use the displays. Also terrains are different, long working hours are there, and moreover they have to control the multiple things while operating the vehicles. So in that case, if we introduce a voice assistant, so that will be a really great help for the farmers to control, ease out the control of the machine, talk to the service centers, troubleshoot their machines with the help of the voice only. And I would say it can connect to what I have said earlier, the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem of the farming, the weather monitoring system, the soil sensors, or the irrigation setup. So it will be very helpful. And moreover, we see in the passenger vehicle, uh, It is a very small thing, but it is very impactful. That in passenger vehicle we usually uses the language is the English. The preferred language is English. But when we come to the farm vehicle, it will not work. So we have to go, state-wise language or the regional language voice assistant setup. So that will really help the operators or the farmers to use it effectively. And I think more things are also important while designing or developing this voice assistants in the farm industry. One is the noise level. So while working in a farm, the engine noise and the surrounding noise is very high. So that needs to be take care, and also the vibrations coming from the farm equipment or the farm vehicle, that also has to be taken care. So the tolerance and the resistance, this part has to be looked after. And obviously the infrastructure we need to develop as the network availability is low. So seeing all these things, voice assistant would be very useful, but this has to be developed as per our environmental condition, farm condition, and the easiness to use.
Right, right.
Thank you.
Got it, got it. Thank you so much, Saurabh sir, for the wonderful insights that you have given us. I think one, common concern which, every member of the connected vehicle ecosystem today would be dealing with is data and cybersecurity. That is something that is going to concern every single member of the value chain today. So I would like to, understand from our esteemed panelists that, with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act coming in, the landscape of the data privacy is shifting today. So between the OEM, the tech provider, and the telecom network, who ultimately owns the vehicle data, and how can we ensure compliance while extracting business value from these, connected services? Anyone can go first.
Maybe I can go.
Sure.
So with the DPDP coming in, the conversation is clearly shifting from data ownership to data responsibility and the consent. So in reality, the vehicle data is distributed. You have the OEM, the tech provider, telecom, and most importantly, the user himself. So under DPDP, the user becomes the central point, and OEMs typically act as a uh, data owner or data manager. So technically, we need the consent-driven architecture, data separation, and even edge processing. At the end of the day, the winner will not be those who collect the most data, but those who use it responsibility, creates value, and build trust around this.
Yeah. So I'll just add to what Dr. Kumaran said. So this is very important because this is customer data, and OEMs has to all the vehicle data becomes a very strategic digital asset, and this has to be on consent with the customer, and we actually have a transparent consent framework for the same. And data ownership clarity is definitely lies to the OEM whenever we are sharing the customer data to the cloud or to any other this thing. So we cannot share from one customer to another customer, and this has to be remain with the OEM in the cloud.
Yeah, I would like to add. So you can rightly said, like, no single party owns the all the vehicle data, but if the you can, if you see this act and all, the OEM uh, uh, will qualify as a, you can say, data fiduciary. So the OEM carries the primary compliance burden, and as a regulatory point of view, our opinion is like, uh, if we add privacy by design itself, embedded at the certification stage itself, then I think a lot of issues can be handled. Like, it cannot be afterthought, like after post market scenario. So this is what the new standards, like for example, AIS 190, where consent based things are mandated. So it ensures that whatever new things are where data collection happens, the consent is taken from the user also, or any changes happens to the software and other things. So I think privacy by design must be embedded in certification stage itself. That is what we feel.
Neeti ma'am, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Just to add, while OEMs and end users are acting on this, there's a lot of onus also on the platform providers, ensuring the data collected is securely transmitted to the cloud. And there's not just the vehicle level security at encryption layer, but also the transition security is well implemented. And then a clear demarcation of which data is being used for personal purposes and delivering personalized services to which data is being used for anonymous services. I think that level of clarity and getting consent from the end users on those usage will ultimately drive the user consents as well.
Okay, Saurabh sir, what are your thoughts on this?
I think the most of the panelists have covered all the things. I think the transparency of the data with the user would be very important in future because seeing the cyber security, although OEM will be the responsible or have the most of the compliances. But I think while taking the consent with the customer, the transparency would play a very important role.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We can now move on to the Q&A session of the webinar. I can see that few people have posted questions. We only have 5 minutes left, so I'll pick up a theme which I can see coming across a little frequently, which is with respect to vehicle breakdowns. So there's a question on, lot of noise about vehicles being unreliable due to extreme software integration. And despite the vehicles and systems being subjected to extreme tests by OEMs for minimum 100,000 kilometers under variable conditions before release. So is it time for OEMs to work towards offering a reliable system to avoid breakdowns, as it is also about customer experience? I think Samir sir and Dr. Kumaran can respond to this.
Sure, Arpita. So that's very true. But this thing is also getting now much evolved, because when we started, it was a very big problem. And a lot of time, even the internet connectivity is being termed as being a failure of the system and the OEM issues. But it is more of a telecom issues and not of the OEM system. So, but as the overall telecom map has improved in India, a lot of towers have been placed. The connectivity between the cities is also improving, and that has reduced a lot of customer concerns. And we have a direct call service available on the system, where you can just call the our helpline, and they also react immediately for solving the issues.
So added to that, maybe there are features that are also coming on demand, like on-demand diagnostics and the vehicle maintenance reminders that goes to the end user, that keeps update on what is the current state of the vehicle and how it has to be maintained. That could add more reliability, although the other portion of keeping up the reliability and the DVP standard is also done. Periodic updates on when the vehicle has to be maintained, how the vehicle is doing a predictive maintenance in terms of be it a bearing fault or be it a braking fault, is also one thing that is now growing as part of this connected ecosystem that we talk about. In Harman, also we have Ready Connect, which is the connected car ecosystem that we have. So we have also integrated the satellite communication directly into the telematics unit. So this handles the emergency SOS, navigation, and roadside assistance as well. So there are multiple features coming on top of it to add the safety.
Okay. I hope this answers the question. Thank you so much, Dr. Kumaran. The next question I would like to ask is, I think, to Neeti ma'am. So there's this one question, ma'am, that do you think LTE 4G is stable on national highway roads and manageable on Indian roads? 5G we can consider later for IoT. For M2M in India is what the question is.
So, I mean, as the telecom standards are evolving, and as was mentioned earlier, we have very good coverage in metros and which is expanding into the cities. Also in India, currently, we generally the vehicles are connected on a single network, which is slightly different from how we operate in a global framework, wherein we have multimodal connectivities, multi-MNO connectivities, enabling no black spots from a cellular perspective, and as also satellite communication is becoming a reality in the future that will ensure seamless transition wherever there's a no MNO or a cellular coverage available. So with these enhancements coming in, we'll see more and more maturity into the connectivity sector.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Rohit, we can wind up the session. I think it's already 4 o'clock. So apologies, folks, we can't take up the rest of the questions at this point.
Sure. No worries. Can we just do one last one if it's okay?
Sure.
So a gentleman by the name of Mr. Prakash Dev has asked, what is your view on telematics data interoperability for EVs? So he says today most EV telematics data remains OEM centric, while when it comes to fleet optimization, there is requirement of access to key parameters like battery SOC, charging status, load location, driver coordination, etc. Unlike ICE vehicles, installing aftermarket IoT devices in EV can affect warranty, insurance, and safety. And so he feels that with owner consent and proper security controls, do you think OEM should open API-based telematic access for small and mid-sized fleet operators? I think Mr. Jindal, I think you would be best placed for answering this if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, sure. I can briefly answer it considering the time. So the OBD port, which is open, is actually giving certain information, especially in terms of EV vehicles and fleet. We are opening the port where you can connect the device and you can get all these parameters. Not necessarily it is installed primarily from the OEM factory side, but still you can get the speed, the charging SOC, and the remaining kilometers on the vehicles with the fuel and these data available. So OEMs have provided that for the aftermarket, and it can be utilized.
Okay, great. And would anybody like to chip in a last word before we say our goodbyes? Okay, all good. So
Thanks a lot. Wonderful seminar conducted, webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just share a brief, note. So, that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed it, found it useful. We received, I would first like to thank our wonderful audience. We received quite a few questions. Mr. Bridul Gopal, Mr. Prakash Dev, Rupesh, and a few of you shared a lot of questions. I'm sorry we couldn't take all of them, but I hope we answered a few of them. Do take a few minutes to share your feedback in the feedback form that opens when you exit this session. And next, a big thank you to our speaker group for taking out of that time out of the busy schedule for this and be with us today. We truly appreciate your support. Lastly, a special thanks to our partner Tata Communications for supporting this session. And before we sign off, again, delighted to share that we are, doing the 4th edition of Passenger Vehicle Forum on 2nd of September in Pune. We'll get if you like what, the conversation happened today, there'll be many such similar conversations will be taking place in person, physically. So this event brings together 60 speakers and over 300 senior professionals from passenger vehicle industry. So do join us. And that's thank you and goodbye from us. And Arpita, would you like to maybe do a summary of the session and before we end the session?
We can end the session, Rohit.
Sure. No worries, no worries. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And till we see you again, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
so
much,
much.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
to the audience as well. Thank you.